Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And crash. You son of
Oh, God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and we made it our mission to help you own it. Fat Man Zoom, what's up, my man?
What's up, brother? Shout out to the starting five: Sean Ethier, Sam Cisneros, Mysterious Gal, Mike Zoe, and Arfin starting five.
Mysterious Gal coming in hot. What's up, guys? What's up, man?
Not much, man. Like your hat.
Thanks. You know, it's just all Puma except for this one side that says Drive Shack.
That's funny because mine has Puma
But then Drive Shack's up front.
and Drive Shack.
We got the Drive Shack gear on today.
Yeah, we're rocking. Actually, I got to do it backwards because it doesn't work for me. I want you guys to see Drive Shack, but believe it.
It's there. It's there.
Steve King's waiting on Clove. Steve King tweeted to you. You said something about OIH or Marathon Oil or something.
Yeah,
and,
OIH, yeah.
And he's like, I added 2, and then he listed every oil stock in existence. It was pretty nice. He's like a human ETF.
That. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. He's in all things oil. We're just giving you a hard time. But yeah, I mean, I actually added to some oil stuff today as well. So far, so good. It's paying off.
Nice. I didn't do anything. Did I do anything? I put in a stop for Baba. That's all I did. I put in a stop.
Is it still coming down?
No,
okay.
But I just put in a stop because I'm just nervous about it.
CYA.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? If this goes below this, I'm out. That's really what I'm looking for in my portfolio. And so that's all I did. I am thinking about adding to Drive Shack, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Other than that, I'm kind of just cool chilling. Might add to Alcoa. Alcoa came down.
Yeah.
And so my entire position is down like maybe 8% or not. And I still have a very small position ratio as compared to my entire portfolio. So very little leverage. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to average down even a little bit more. Haven't looked at the chart yet, so I want to see where I want to get in, put an order in for that. But that's really the only one that I was like, oh, I might want to get in. A lot of red today, but Airbnb looked great.
Yes.
Spirit. I don't have Spirit, but it looked great off of the Boeing news, which was really good.
Yeah.
And so there were a few little highlights in there, but overall, I think there was some red, which is fine. We've had a bunch of green days. We've been fat and happy lately.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I've just been sitting on my hands too. I got a fair amount of cash. Nothing crazy. I mean, I would say I probably got about 10% cash right now, and just kind of waiting to see how people react to the Fed news. Mm-hmm. And then also we have the quad witching that happens on Friday, which, I mean,
is nothing.
Yeah, it usually is, but the last couple of quarters, it actually has reacted a lot. I don't know if it's because there's just so much more options activity that we've seen before, and maybe that has a lot to do with it. I don't know, but I'm not taking any chances. I'm just gonna have some cash on the side for when people do overreact to this, so that I can buy the F&B.
Yeah, whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it might be a day or something. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I don't think it means anything. So yeah, those were interesting. Interesting developments. Not as busy of a day as yesterday, but still definitely stuff to talk about. And that should be. That's one of those things that I want to get into. But first, I did have a question. Do you still have Drive Shack?
Yeah, I have a shit ton of it.
Okay, I'm just curious if you had it or not.
Yeah, I actually wanted to add to it.
I don't have access to your portfolio.
I actually want to add to it as well. You do have. You have my passwords and everything. You probably forgot, but
I did forget it.
But
you want to add to it?
I do want to add to it on any kind of pullback that I see on Drive Shack. I have 1,000 shares. I want to try to get up to around 2,000 shares. So it takes up around 8% of my portfolio.
Well, what if I told you that the move on Drive Shack was largely one person? Would that change your opinion on whether you want to enter into it or not?
It's time to play dumb. Yes, it actually would.
So how much volume was on Drive Shack yesterday?
Around 10 million shares.
10 million shares. And what is that in relation to how much normal volume, the normal 10-day average or whatever?
It was about 350% or better more than it normally is over the last 100 days.
Okay, so we saw the huge move that Drive Shack had, and everybody was wondering what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
And we found out this morning. I actually get the investor relations emails, and about 6:30 a.m. Eastern time this morning, I got an email in my inbox from Drive Shack, which always gets me excited. And it was a 13D, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
And so it was said that Wesley R. Edens, and if you guys don't know who this is, because we didn't know who this was either, we did a search. Businessman, private equity investor, co-owner of the Milwaukee Bucks for whatever that's worth. Used to have ties and work with Lehman Brothers, BlackRock, so on and so forth. He actually purchased 7.4 million shares. How many shares did you say went through yesterday?
About 10 million, 10.5 million, yeah.
So 75%
of the volume
that went through yesterday was one guy. Great on one perspective, because if you look and you're like, well, we got this guy who's an equity investor who does this for a living, who's like, man, I'm making a big bet, which accounts for 8% of the company. Let's put that into perspective.
Yes.
That's a huge amount of a publicly traded company in one fell swoop. That's very promising. However, it was largely what you would attribute the movement yesterday to, you could say, or at least the catalyst for it. Is that a good thing or a bad thing in your mind, or just a non-issue?
I think it's kind of a non-issue. I mean, it's a good thing that another institution's getting into it. We always like when there's more institutions holding into a stock, only because it creates less volatility.
Yeah.
So you have less to worry about a major sell-off. Not to say that it won't happen, but there's less worry about that. And so I think it's more of a positive than anything, but it really doesn't amount to a whole lot. But hey, more shares are getting scooped up, which means the float's just getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, and somebody who's taking 8%, I don't think they have any intention of selling that anytime soon, which, to your point about the float getting smaller, maybe he's starting a position and you could see him accumulating a position. So I think it bodes really well. On one hand, when we saw the movement, I'm like, oh, is there like news coming? So I think it's fair to say probably not.
Yeah.
But that makes me even more bullish on it. Institution has their sights set on it. Was it you that was telling me that there's only like 2% short interest in Drive Shack?
Yeah, there's hardly anybody short on it. Yeah.
There's a lot of indicators that are pointing up for this stock and making me want to get more of it. So I'm excited about it. I don't know how much movement's going to happen over the short term, but we've talked about the catalysts that are coming for Drive Shack. We have 2 putteries opening up in Charlotte and in Dallas. We have another one opening up in DC that'll be a few months after that.
Yep.
And then they have more growth planned. They've been doing a great job of managing their balance sheet. They've been selling some things off, managing their debt. Like, they've been doing a great job, and should set them up with the reopening and with the demand for golf to put them in a really good position to continue to move. So if you have some patience, I don't know if Drive Shack's going to see a pop anytime soon. It may even bleed off a little bit, but I think this stock is one that I need to continue to add to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's held up really well, honestly. After the crazy move up, it's pretty much flat on the day. It had a little bit of a move down, and then it just got scooped up. We can look at the chart here, and it really has held its own today. So it's pretty much flat, and by and large, it's kind of what my account's been doing today anyway. It's been pretty flat too. But man, yeah, this is really encouraging to see that after the massive move yesterday, it's held up really well.
Yeah, for sure. And it has tremendous volatility. So the market was down. No surprise that it's down further than the market.
Yeah.
So there's no cause for concern as far as, when I'm looking at it. But overall market, do you think it's down due to the Fed meeting coming up the next 2 days, or just it needed to sell off a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday it was down, and then today it's been kind of flat. Today it's down, but it's not like anything substantial. I think a lot of it just has to do with today the retail numbers came out, and they were less than expected, so people are kind of, I guess, a little bit on edge as far as, is demand all the way back? Is it coming back? And I think, to me, it's like, that's a stupid-ass question.
Yeah.
Yes, we saw this, I think, March? I want to say March, we saw like some weird wonky retail sales numbers, which like, I don't know. I don't think that you should be reading too much into that. Demand is absolutely insane. Just walk out your front door and try to go to any store or any restaurant or get on a plane, and it's wild. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think this is just, I guess it gives us something to talk about as far as investors are concerned and those who are on CNBC, but really I don't think there's a whole lot to worry about here.
Yeah, so maybe that news wasn't that important, but there was other news out there in relation to DraftKings. You want to tell everybody what happened with DraftKings?
Yeah, so Hindenburg strikes again.
Donkeys. Fucking donkeys.
First of all, if I am a known short seller, the last thing I'm doing right now is putting a fucking target on my back.
Yeah.
Given the way that Wall Street Bets and the Reddit crowd is like seeking these people out, the last thing you want to do is go after a high profile name like DraftKings and then poo-poo all over them. So what happened today was that DraftKings got hammered by Hindenburg. Basically, they're alleging that there's black market operations that are going on with DraftKings. No real physical evidence that this is actual fact. They're just basically swaying people to think that this was a thing. The stock dropped nearly 11%, almost 11% in pre-market. It actually has clawed its way back, and it's only down around 4% right now.
Yeah.
To me, in my opinion, a lot of the allegations they put into this was complete BS. I'd be curious to see how this all plays out. And to me, like, I would, it looks as if that's probably what's happening. I was looking on Swaggy Stocks, and you could see that DraftKings was already creeping its way to the top as the most talked about stock in Reddit.
I think the one thing to be careful of is we've talked about looking at two situations that are similar in one variable and conflating it with something else. And we talked about when Clover went off and looking at Rocket, and everybody was like, oh, it's going to be Rocket. Like, no, there's two different situations. And I think I heard some rumblings about, oh, this is going to be like Clover when Hindenburg came out with Clover article. And the reality is there are two very different situations.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that because the difference, I think this was a horrible target for Hindenburg. And the reason why, there's a couple of reasons why. Sort of the mainstream resonance. It's got a loyal following. It's got strong brand. Clover had just went public, but wasn't really known. And so one of the things that that struck me was, why would you pick a target that is so popular? And we haven't even really liked DraftKings, to be honest. We haven't thought they were best in class.
No, we preferred Penn.
But I understand why people liked it. So you have sort of the brand awareness, which makes it a likely target for Swaggy Stocks and for the Reddit community. You also have a very popular institutional investor by way of Kathy Wood and ARK Invest, who loves this stock. And so I'm like, shit, you might see them doubling down on this. And if they do that, it's going to get other people hype as well. And so I feel like, and then you have an industry that's hot as well in online betting. It seems like a horrible it seems like a horrible target if you're Hindenburg. And so Clover was different. They didn't have the brand awareness. Nobody really knew about them. They were recently public, but there wasn't any loyalty behind it. And they didn't have the big institutional backing. And so they were ripe to get their ass beat down.
Right.
And so we still loved it, but nobody knew about it. Everybody knows about DraftKings. And so Hindenburg, I think you made a tragic misstep, and you're right. They've kind of floated under the radar. If Reddit gets a hold of Hindenburg, they're done.
Yeah.
Like, if they get their claws sunk into that, they're done. They'll go after everything they try to put an article on or a hit piece on.
Like the accusations are weird. Like so DraftKings merged with SP Tech, which I guess apparently had some. There was rumblings. There was no actual proof of this, of black market gaming and money laundering and organized crime. And this is the angle that that Hendon turd is taking. And like, I don't know, man. Yeah, they got balls. Now, I will say that in the past, leading up to the Wall Street crowd, the Wall Street bets crowd, Hindenburg will come in and actually, decimate a stock, and it really usually ended up falling through. Like they would come up with a hit piece, and it would work for them almost every single time.
Yeah.
This time it just feels like it could be way different. I mean, they came out and put a hit piece out on Clover, and then disclosed that they weren't short. This one they are. They came out and said that they are short on this position, and then gave the reasons as to why. And along came the accusations of money laundering and organized crime and shit. So I don't know, man. Like, I agree. This seems like they could get wrecked.
Yeah,
they could really get wrecked.
And I think we're going to see in the next couple of days. I think we're going to see it picking up steam, and it wouldn't surprise me because this is exactly what Reddit looks for. And so we'll see what happens. But I don't know how much short interest there is on the stock overall. But regardless, I'm not worried about it. If I were DraftKings, a shareholder in DraftKings, I wouldn't be worried about it. I'd probably use it as a buying opportunity, dollar cost average opportunity.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's recovered really, really well. I mean, it went from $51 to $44.65 first thing in the morning, and then has been bouncing back ever since. It's only down around 4.5% now after being down around 11%. And I do think that there's definitely some opportunity here. How much you want to bet that
$20.
Kathy Wood saw something or bought some of this today?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it in level 3. Like, I believe that we're going to find out that Kathy Wood added. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she add to it?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if she had enough time to do it, but yeah, I mean, I think it would be a vote of confidence for the stock, but also, just get it on discount as well.
What's interesting is that all of the gaming stocks actually did rather well off of this, except for Penn. Penn got dragged down with it. I really don't know why. Penn wasn't brought up into the article at all. First of all, that would be an even bigger mistake if Hindenburg came after Penn, because I can imagine what Dave Portnoy would say if something like that happened.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a really good buying opportunity for both Penn and DraftKings at this point, because it seems like a lot of BS.
Yeah, speaking of Penn, I added to Penn yesterday, and it dropped below 80.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dollar cost averaging in this. Like, I have such high conviction on this.
Yeah.
I think Barstool is going to come back with a vengeance. I think Penn's numbers for their brick and mortar are going to be outstanding.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to be sitting here one day in the not too distant future, and it breaks 100 and it just rolls. And we're like, man, remember when we had the opportunity to buy it at $78?
Yeah.
We're going to pull this clip. We're going to be like, what date was that we did? We talked about Penn at $78. We're going to be sitting here, we're going to be like 100, and then 150 is going to come. We're going to be like, damn, we could have got it at $78. Like,
yep.
That's kind of how I feel. Like, I believe in this company so much. And not just in this company, I believe in Dave Portnoy so much, I would just bet on him. And that, to me, I have time on my side. I'll wait it out because I know that man just will get shit done.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I'm willing to be more than patient with this to see this continue to go up. I imagine that during football season, we'll probably see a huge uptick on this. It might be still slow over the summer, but I think that just gives us more opportunities to add to this. I have about 20% of my portfolio made up of Penn, and I'm not sweating it one bit.
Yeah, I believe that too. And I don't think it's going to come as soon as people think, but I do think when we get through the first month of football and we start getting numbers in from states, I think we're going to start seeing, maybe October time frame. I think we're going to see a run from Penn leading through the end of the year. But at the end of the year, I fully expect this stock to be over $100 minimum.
Yeah, you can see right now I have on the chart that ever since it hit its lows, down at 73.43, it's been trending up really nicely. And today was the first day that it kind of fell below that. Yeah. We've seen spikes below that before, but they've lasted a very short period of time. So I'd be curious to see how tomorrow plays out, because I think if tomorrow we're back to green and we're back up over 80, all things are fine. And I think we just continue to trend up. But right now it's a little bit touch and go. I do still feel like this probably will not be a problem, though.
Yeah, I did. You know what I did add to that? So I'm full position size
On
now in Penn in my long-term portfolio, which is a public portfolio. And guys, if you want to check out our portfolio, so Brad has a public portfolio, short-term swing trading. He also has trade alerts. We have a Discord. We have a watch list with technical analysis. You can click that join button, join the Chaos Crew, $4.99 a month. It's a steal.
We'd love to have you guys as a part of the crew. What else you got today, man?
You know what? This is off topic.
Yeah.
But I should have mentioned in the beginning, tonight's a big night.
What's that?
We got Man Mill 34. Oh, shit. That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
My bad. Tomorrow's a big night. Sorry, guys. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Jeez, hit that notification bell because we'll be talking about it tomorrow.
Stick around. We got a big day tomorrow.
We do have a real big day tomorrow.
Damn, my brain just went. I was like, why didn't we talk about Man Meal? Anyway, shout out to Daniel Camarena. What's up, my man?
From the FedEx warehouse. What's up, bro? Got himself some DraftKings as well.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Huh. Good for you, man. From not listed on Swaggy to listed number 4 overall, it's already trending, says Rudy Brown, DraftKings. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I'll bring it up now. I wanted to bring this to the table. There's been inflation talks, and maybe we'll have like a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
But 2 things that are really on my mind. China, relations with China, and how the administration looks to position themselves with China and in foreign relations. And so apparently there's a coalition that Biden's trying to form, and really it sounds like they're trying to posture and really pressure China, and we'll see how that plays out. Long term, they both need each other. Both countries need each other.
Yes.
But it could make things rocky, and I'm a little bit worried about Baba, so that's just something I have my eye on, because I feel like technically Baba's at a great spot. Fundamentally, it's a great company, but there's just these other factors that are outside of its control that just give me a little bit of pause currently.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's certainly cause for concern as far as that goes. But I think the bigger, I guess, focus that are on people's minds, which I'm glad you brought that up because it's not a huge focus. But we also have, obviously, the Fed tomorrow. We'll see how that turns out as far as inflation's concerned. And then we have the inflation or the infrastructure bill that's still being worked through, too. So there's a lot of factors that I think could push the market higher. But I think perhaps over the next week or so, we might see a little bit of choppiness.
I'm not speaking about the market overall. I'm speaking about my position in Baba. That gives me concern about that.
I got you.
So like, to me, I'm not worried about Baba if it's in an investment account, but like for my swing trading account, my long-term swing trading account, I'm like, I think it's just going to be a whole bunch of sideways and could have spiked down where I don't know if I want to ride that ride. So China's really been on my mind just from like a short-term perspective for Chinese stocks, not the market. I'm not worried about our market.
Yeah.
The other thing is inflation. Not that I'm worried about it, but I think I need to do something about it. And I've talked about crypto and my belief in Ethereum. And I've focused on Ethereum. I have a very small position in Bitcoin, but Ethereum's really my guy.
Yeah.
It is time for me to increase my position in Bitcoin and start adding to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin recently hit 40. I don't know what it is at now, but it was above 40 last time I checked today. But this is what Bitcoin, the argument and the bullish case for Bitcoin is. Looks like it's down below 40, but this is what it is. And I think that this is a great hedge. Some would say gold, which is fine. If you want to go gold route, cool. But me personally, I'm going to begin increasing my position in Bitcoin and hit the pause button on Ethereum for now. I may add on dips here and there, but really any money I was adding to Ethereum, I'm going to go ahead and start scaling up my position a bit in Bitcoin, just to make sure I have peace of mind if there is a reaction, a big reaction on the inflation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely, you're seeing more and more larger investors, billionaire investors, institutions lumping Bitcoin in with gold. Yeah. And now they're splitting it. Where they once, invested 10% of their portfolios into gold, they're now splitting that 5% gold and now 5% Bitcoin. And I think that's probably the best way to go about doing it. I know there's a lot of people that'll argue, well, you should just have all of your shit in Bitcoin. Anthony Pompliano comes to mind. 90% of his assets are in Bitcoin. So his is on the other extreme. But I think that's probably the best way to go about doing it. I would treat it as if it was a commodity such as gold, and probably have it take up anywhere between 5 to 7%.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see I suspect that you're going to see more institutions taking bold strokes and getting into Bitcoin, which only benefits the movement off of it. And so that's what I expect is more institutions getting behind it, existing institutions that hold Bitcoin, adding to it. Should be exciting. Setting prospect for Bitcoin at least through the end of the year to see how things play out. Steve King asks, is anyone bothered by what Elon Musk does with his tweets about Bitcoin? Just curious. Absolutely not in the least bit. And I talked about this, like, number one, you can leverage his tweets to play it. It's been fairly a fairly easy prediction on how the market would react in his tweets. Now, if you're in it, it could move, but like if you're in it for the long term, it's just an opportunity to add. If he says something that pushes it down, if he says something that pushes it up, you just let it run and you're happy with it. But I don't worry about his tweets, particularly because there is nothing that he says in my mind that he is doing to manipulate it. I think he's legitimately speaking as if we were sitting at a bar talking about Bitcoin and him explaining his concerns behind it.
Yep.
It did feel like Doge was a manipulation, but what we know now is it wasn't actually a manipulation. And don't forget, people, I'm not a fan of Doge, but don't forget, he has people on his team looking at opportunities for Doge and viability, working with Doge miners.
Yep.
And also, he's looking at other crypto assets. So we're going to hear about those things, and don't forget about that as we move along.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that's you're going to have influencers that people follow, and they're going to follow them no matter what. No matter what they say. I do find it interesting that everybody hated Elon Musk a week ago, especially during the Bitcoin conference, and then all of a sudden. He says that they're going to accept it again for purchases of vehicles, and everybody loves him again. So, I think that there's definitely, you could make the argument for influence, but I don't think that he's straight up just manipulating it for speaking his mind, essentially.
Yeah.
By the way, I do also want to shout out Zero Blue Ox for noticing that I do have the Lord's Lemonade. And if Chick-fil-A would like to sponsor this channel, we'd be eternally grateful. Although I do think that we say fuck a little too much for Chick-fil-A.
Didn't you just say you started some macro thing?
This is unsweet tea and diet lemonade.
So there's no sugar in there?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Just checking.
It's
the Lord's. Keep you on its toes.
The Lord's Lemonade.
So there are no calories either?
Huh?
No calories either?
In diet lemonade? I don't know. Maybe it's a very small amount. Very small amount.
That is a big ass cup.
I was thirsty.
Clearly. So I didn't, who brought this up? I want to talk about Ethereum real quick. Mike Zoe, June 25th, short for Ethereum. Not worried about that either. I didn't actually know about this, but I appreciate you bringing that up because it's worth noting. On June 25th, Ether will face its largest options expiry in 2021 as 1.5 billion worth of open interest will be settled. This is 30% larger than March 26 expiry, which took place as Ether's plunged 17% in 5 days. Thanks for bringing that up, because I'm just going to use that as a buying opportunity if it does.
Yes.
Because you know what? June 25th matters. 0 in 2023 and 2024. I'm not going to remember June 25th of 2021. And so, again, this is something that I'm building up my allocation, and I'm just looking for the dip. So I'm excited about June 25th. I'm not worried about June 25th. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Man, if it broke below 2,000, shit.
If it broke below 2,000, I am getting the hell in.
Yeah, man. So that's good. I need to put that on my calendar. But there was something that happened, and you guys throw this in the chat. I can't remember what it was, but there was like a D-Day for Ethereum like a month and a half ago, and I remember Don and I were texting about it.
Yeah.
And it was like this like critical point that everybody was worried about. It was like the miners were going to go on strike or something, and it's just like, honestly, I think that's like Bitcoin people. It's, you know, how see people try to scare people out of other positions. I feel like it's like Bitcoin people trying to scare people, but quad witching, all these things, I feel like it's just fear mongers trying to get people, trying to shake people out.
Yeah, I don't understand I don't know, AMC people poo-pooing on somebody else trying to short squeeze a stock. It's like,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, weren't we all just trying to stick it to the shorts?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, looking at Ethereum right now, sitting at 2,500.
It's looking good.
It's not looking bad. It's consolidating pretty nicely. It's just been pretty sideways over the last couple of days. This is the daily chart, in case you were wondering. Bitcoin's actually starting to move a little bit back up a little bit, trying to make its way back up over 40. Checking back in with DraftKings. It closed the day down just 4%. No big deal there, so it looks pretty good. All things considered, I would venture to say that more people than not are still very bullish on DraftKings, and I'd be curious to see how much, if any, that ARK Invest bought today, or anybody else for that matter. And yeah, man, everything else was looking really good as far as the things that I was in. I mean, Airbnb, bro, we didn't talk about this a whole lot. We briefly spoke about it at the top of the show, but man, Airbnb looked really good. It was up to $153 a share. It was up 4.5% at one point today, and it's consolidated pretty nicely. Had a little bit of a pullback, but consolidated really nicely throughout the day, and it's held up over 151 pretty much all day. But Airbnb, I think, is just going to be this slow creeper. If it hits 160, I'm going to be so freaking happy. I cannot wait for that move.
Yeah, Airbnb does look great, and we've talked about how it needs to be at its 52-week highs. Maybe got ahead of itself off of IPO, but really it's been lagging other travel, and it shouldn't. There's no reason why it should. Yeah. It actually should outperform. So we've been saying it's only a matter of time before this starts moving, and today was a promising day to get it in the direction, and getting over 150 certainly technical.
It looked like it was starting to break out of this cup and handle a little bit. It has the same exact. I remember I was saying yesterday that I could pick a dozen tech stocks that has the same pattern.
Yeah.
And this one finally started to follow suit with all the other ones today. So it was just really good to see. I mean, right now it's actually, today it closed up 1.72%. So not like a crazy, blow your face off kind of day, but it was just promising to see that it broke up over this resistance, and it looks like it's going to continue up from here. I can't wait till their next earnings.
Yeah. Sean says Airbnb has a lot of bad press in the media, though. Doesn't change the fact of the demand of the company, the product it offers, and this is what we look for in companies. We're not looking for companies that everybody already figured out that this is awesome and that they're going to crush it and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
When you really, I'm going on 3 group trips. We got a trip to Brazil. There's a wedding. We got a trip to Deep Creek, Maryland, which will be in October. And then Vieques, Puerto Rico for a friend group outing. Nobody in the group is talking about a hotel. Not one person. And they're all 3 different groups, 10 plus people. And so these are the opportunities we've talked about. Find great companies at discount that have news or anything that sort of headwinds that we think are immaterial. And what are the headwinds? The headwinds are like cleaning costs. The headwinds are potentially not enough hosts. That doesn't sound like a headwind to me.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Can't meet demand.
Right.
So I'm not sure. What else are the headwinds? You guys tell me what else they are, because there's not much by way of that, and a lot of damn tailwinds I could tell you about.
Yeah, I mean, can't meet demand can be detrimental, and it could force people to look for hotels or what have you. But I think what we are seeing, though, is just people trying to just find whatever they can. If they can't find the home that they wanted, they just go and try to find the next best thing.
Yeah.
It can be. I mean, we saw it be a problem for Peloton, but they ended up catching up to the demand itself. And I have no doubt that those who are leading Airbnb, I mean, the CEO is amazing. I have no doubt that they're going to be able to find people to rent their homes out and continue to keep up with demand. I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem for them.
I mean, if I'm Airbnb, the biggest thing I want to try to address and the biggest pain point is condos.
Yeah.
Because a lot of condos are preventing the homeowners from
that's true.
renting out their Airbnb.
Yeah.
And particularly in New York City. New York City, it's actually a lot of the buildings, and property managers are saying, if you own your home, like there has to be a level of home ownership, not just Airbnb, but rentals in general. A percentage of the building needs to be homeowners.
Yep.
Because the reason why is because homeowners are going to take care of their home more than renters, and certainly more than tourists are going to do who are there for a couple of days. And so I understand the concern, but if I was Airbnb, I'd be finding ways to incentivize these buildings and these property managers and figure out a way to address their concerns, because we know what they are and they're legitimate. And if they do that, that opens up a flood of market as far as what their issue is, which is demand. It opens up a ton of properties because a lot of people want to do that own condo units.
Yeah, I agree. And that has been a pain point for a lot of people. And I think there are people that live in condos that just don't want random guests in there all the time. So I do understand that. But there's going to be a way that they're going to be able to figure that out. Again, I just have no reason to believe that they're not going to get the job done.
Yeah, for sure. They will. Great brand, great company. Guys, this is one that's been on our watch list. If you guys want to check out our free watch list, 5 free stocks every day before the market opens, we send it out. Go over to go into the description, and you too can get access to that free watch list. You'll get the newsletter, 5 stocks, or you can go to ownthechaos.com, click get a free watch list.
Great job on the plugs today, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm
Crushing
flowing. I'm in flow state.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, ownthechaos.com. Anything else you want to chat about today?
Well, Oracle just came out with earnings, so we can check out the response on that.
Yeah, it was Oracle, and
looks like they beat earnings per share estimates were $1.31, came in at $1.54. They beat on revenue as well. 11.04 billion were the estimates, came in at 11.2. Thanks, Arfin, for that.
Arfin, you're the man. Yeah, it spiked up crazy after hours here. Let's take a look. It went nuts. Right now it's up around 0.75%, but it spiked all the way up to 83, 85. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Let's see if it moves back up there. But Oracle's been one that has kind of been, they were once favored to potentially acquire TikTok. If you guys remember when like all that was going down, that, the U.S. Government wanted TikTok to be owned by somebody, at least the U.S. division to be owned by somebody. Oracle was in that conversation, but they have so much other stuff going on that Oracle is probably one of those ones where you would consider old tech, but that's been doing particularly well throughout not just the pandemic, but even going into the reopening. So you can see on the chart on the daily here, it just keeps running up. Those earnings probably aren't surprising to a lot of people that they beat like that. H&R Block, I knew they had earnings today too. Arfin, or anyone else for that matter, if you can grab those. H&R Block was actually one that I talked about in April being kind of like a sleeper stock. They're bringing in some tons of revenue from some of the crazy dates that they've had to move around as far as the tax seasons were concerned between 2020 and even this year. Right now it's up 1.33%. But yeah, this thing's been crushing it since April, and it continues to go up. $26.23 was a recent high from just yesterday. Looking at the 5 minute here, and looks like perhaps earnings are out for this. Not sure yet, but it looks like looks like it's moving according to the chart here, that perhaps earnings are out.
God bless you, Chick-fil-A.
I saw a lot of people hating on my diet lemonade.
I think they were just talking about soda. Like people going back and forth talking about soda, and sugar is the world's worst drug. Period.
Yeah.
Like if you're drinking
I like
soda,
stevia. Stevia is my favorite sweetener.
Drink water, people. Drink water.
I do love me some water. I just had to have Lord's lemonade today.
I don't even mess with the artificial sweeteners. I don't mess with any of that junk. My body's a temple, Brad. My body's a temple. I was looking at a video from mid-COVID when I was still in my house doing our live streams, and I was like puffy. Sweats.
Puffy.
Ooh, that's looking good. Look at that.
Yeah, it's starting to move up. This is H&R Block that you're looking at right now. Earnings just came out for them. Don't have the numbers on them just yet. But yeah, so far so good on this one. And Oracle is actually moving down off of earnings. It's down now 2%.
Chocolate's good for you, Sean. Chocolate is good for you.
Dark chocolate.
Not that semi-sweet stuff, but
not milk.
I eat that 70% cacao out of Whole Foods.
I love that stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah, man.
Put a little salt in it.
They got the caramel sea salt one. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I had one yesterday that was almond butter quinoa. But here's the thing. I got to stay away from it. I do like a brain smoothie, which has like, if you guys don't follow Jim Quick, he's awesome. You ever heard of Jim Quick?
No.
He's sort of the brain guy. So he had brain damage. He got hit by a car when he was like young.
Oh, damn.
And they said his like brain would never be function optimally. And he's like the brain guy now. And he does like memory retention stuff. He's awesome.
Wow.
Really famous. He works for like Will Smith and shit.
Oh.
But anyways, he's great. He has a podcast that's really good, but he created this brain smoothie and he's like, here's the 8 great best things that are healthy for your brain. And one of them is obviously dark chocolate, blueberries, cruciferous greens, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But I tend to stay away from chocolate. I actually got some yesterday just to snack on, but the only time I eat chocolate now is in smoothies because I have no self-control.
I do. I'm not a big sweets person. I'm
Yeah.
like one of those people that my weakness is like, give me a whole bag of chips and I'm sitting down and making that a meal.
Yeah, Steve.
Chips and dip, man. That's
Yeah.
my thing.
Oh, plantain chips, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Steve says sugar and caffeine, legal drugs. Yep. I don't fuck with caffeine either, man. People who drink coffee and caffeine, like they sound like addicts. Not to mention it nickel and dimes you to death.
I drink coffee, but I don't treat it
I've
like
never
that.
heard you talk about it.
Yeah.
There's some people who literally cannot function without coffee.
Oh, yeah. I know those kind of
That's
people.
addiction.
I'm just not one of them.
Yeah. I love the smell of coffee.
If I go a morning
Coffee-
without drinking it, like my life isn't over.
Yeah. Coffee is like one of the best smells in the world, but I think it's disgusting and I don't like how it tastes. And I personally don't want anything that could be habit forming for me. See, you guys you get to learn a little bit more about me. We're life woke. Celery juice. Yeah, celery juice is good. I've been crushing them green juices from Whole Foods. I do take pre-workout. There is caffeine in there, but mine has like a B vitamin spike. I don't think mine's like a healthier one. But yeah, all that stuff is good, man. Take care of your body, people. We need to be around, especially if you're sitting at a desk all day. You need to take care of yourself. Get your steps in.
Did you hear that the world's first 120-year-old person is walking the earth right now?
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be 120 alive.
I don't know if I would want to be 120 either, unless I'm like just as functional as I was when I was 100.
That's true. Like the thing is, I think the indicator is if I can wipe my ass, I'm cool with living.
Yeah,
but
yes.
if somebody starts wiping my ass, take me out.
Yeah. Somebody hit me up with
I'm
that.
ready to go.
Give me the insulin shot.
I feel like that's going to be in one of our teaser clips from now on. When I start wiping my ass, take me out. Lord, take the wheel.
100%.
My family will not wipe my ass.
No, mine
Anyway.
either. Mine either.
That's good for me.
I've
On
gone
that note-
as far as to say, like, if I even have to have a catheter, just take me out back.
Yeah.
Or thicken liquids, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I don't want people
No.
be messing with my junk. I don't. On that note, guys, thanks for another live stream. We're here live.
Listen, this went way off the rails, but we're glad 166 of you are hanging around still, talking shit. I put it on Twitter. I said, we're going to talk about these stocks and whatever the hell else we want. So that's exactly what we did.
I think Mark Peach, can any of y'all talk about the European Championship or nobody in the U.S. know anything about it? We're talking about tennis, right? We're talking about tennis? Because I know Djokovic and Nadal, I think they just had a match.
Yeah, they did. Football.
Or are we talking about soccer?
Football.
Actually, we're probably talking about soccer.
We are.
I think it's Wimbledon as well.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Oh, you know what? UEFA. No, I'm sorry. I didn't realize the UEFA Championship was going on. But I am a Spain man. I love Spain. That's my squad. So thanks for letting us know. I've been out of the loop, man. But isn't Wimbledon going on as well?
I thought so.
Huh.
There's not a whole lot going on in sports, so I guess we got to talk about soccer.
I know. Hold on, I get you.
Which
No,
I know.
I
which,
love soccer.
which,
I'm
which
not-
I was going to say, which I probably just offended a lot of people that watch this channel because we got people from all over the globe, which is awesome, by the way.
Oh, Wimbledon starts June 28th.
Oh, there you go. So maybe it's just like the prelims or something that you were
I
seeing.
don't know. Maybe there's another. But yeah, that'll be cool too. If you've never been to a tennis match, it's pretty cool. Go up to New York for the U.S. Open. It's supposed to be a blast.
Yeah, the French Open just ended, says Rudy
Was it
Brown.
the French?
Yeah.
Was that Nadal and Djokovic? Were they in the finals? Nadal's my guy.
Euro Cup put Germany, France, and Portugal in the same group. Yeah, I heard that. That doesn't. Yeah.
Djokovic won. Oh, beat him handily. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was on Friday. That ended. Or that was a semifinal. I guess the final must have been this weekend.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. Nadal's my boy. I'm all things Spain, people. All right. Guys, we are live every Monday through Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That means we got another day tomorrow. Tune in at 3:30 p.m. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell.
Do we have a special guest tomorrow?
We might. We should.
So.
Sorry. Not tomorrow. No. Thursday, potentially. No, he won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
He doesn't arrive. He doesn't get here until like 4:30 or 5.
Oh, I thought it was 3:30. Okay. So then, we will be here live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. We will see you guys then. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff. And most importantly, hit the like button on your way out. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Viva España! Viva España, people! Adios!
You know what? The only reason I brought him up was because he said it's super weird seeing a bunch of Spaniards speak Spanish.
Who said that?
Freddie.
Oh, really?
That's one of his stand-ups.
Adios.
Adios.
I quit this bitch.
España.